I think it's one of the best, if not the best movie. There's a lot of fans who go, "Oh, I hate Rick Flags."
Who's saying that?
Because I'm the guy who's trying to get the guy.
Between the princess and the enchantress, we guys have a type.
We do have a type. Hot and crazy. I arrested Captain America down the block. I was like, is John Cena a big wrestler? He looked at me with wide eyes as if to say, "You're the dumbest father anyone could ever have." Wow, my career is going to come down to a scene in an elevator with Chris Evans, who I just watched last night in The Materialist.
Welcome back to the Morning After Pod, Phase Heroes Peacemaker podcast. BD here. Frank Grillo here.
My man.
What's up, dude?
You know.
We got the helmet. We're collecting signatures on the helmet throughout the season.
I love it.
So,
Saul was here.
Yeah, Saul, Sean Gunn. We got Robert Patrick down there. Did you know you and Robert Patrick drive the different versions of the same car?
He drives a Hellcat?
Yeah, and it is sick. His isn't as matte as yours.
It's not convertible, though.
No, I don't think so, no.
I don't even drive that car. It sits in my garage, but the other cars are not working at the moment. So
you just wanted to flex today. You were like, let me roll up in the sick.
I have a '67 Bronco that's totally redone. You'd love that,
dude. That's cool. I saw you pull up to it. I was like, bro, that thing is sick.
That's a little bit of a midlife crisis.
Hey, as somebody who just went from a Corvette to an e-tron GT, maybe I'm having mine a little too early, but I get it. So Peacemaker episode 4 spoilers are safe here. This is going to go after the episode. So if you're watching, everything in the DC universe up until Peacemaker season 2 episode 4 is eligible for this conversation. But first of all, this comes from my buddy Chris Van Vliet, who you might know. He's a big podcaster who uses this studio. How the hell did you get so jacked for boss level, dude?
Boss level? Oh. My boy Brendan Johnson, who trains every Avenger and Marvel superhero in Atlanta, he got me in great shape. We trained like animals, and I mean, I put on about 15 pounds of muscle over the course of 6 months. And Carnahan started to get like, "What are you doing? You're too big."
You get too big, bro.
I don't know. It's like a video game. I got to be that character, and it really served me. But I got to tell you, when I was done, I was so. I'm only 5'10", and I was like waddling, like I was so top heavy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to get rid of this. But I was strong too.
Would you say you think that's the best shape you've ever been in?
No, I don't. I mean, it's the biggest I've ever been,
Sure.
and muscular, but not the best shape I've ever been. Because I really am not supposed to be that. I shouldn't have that much muscle on my body. Yeah. It was a little like daunting. You know, I was a little out of breath.
Dude, I'm running the same problem every day. Oh, getting tired of carrying all this around, brother.
I'm only 168 pounds, so I was a good 22 pounds heavier than I am now.
Dude, well, you looked.
Yeah, I was shredded.
Yeah, good for you, brother. Good for you. Is there a character above all characters that you've played? Because your resume's sick. Is there a character people want to talk to you more about than others?
You know, oddly, and it's a small role, is Crossbones. Yeah. And it's, I'm not really in the movie. And I never claimed to be. And, I read my son's so diligent about it. And he's like, "Oh, you're only a secondary or tertiary." I'm like, I'm not bringing this up. Trust me. I don't bring up Crossbones ever. It's people want to know. I'm like, the guy was in the movie for like 7 minutes. I don't know what to tell you. And it was 12 years ago.
Now, that said, as Brock Rumlow, you got to be part of one of the sickest action sequences in the MCU.
True. And that movie, Brock Rumlow, not Crossbones, was in that movie a significant amount of time.
Yeah.
Right? And I said it recently, and of course I catch flack for it, but I think it's one of the best, if not the best movie in the Marvel universe as a film.
I don't think that's a hot take.
Yeah, it's as a film, and when I say that, I mean compared to other films in other genres, not a superhero movie.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was amazingly executed. The script was amazing. I thought the way it was shot was beautiful. Yeah. And that elevator scene, who knew, has become like, I go do Comic-Cons and stuff, and people are obsessed with the elevator scene. I'm like, wow, my career is going to come down to a scene in an elevator. Chris Evans, who I just watched last night in The Materialist.
I haven't seen that yet. I have to watch that. My mom loves Pedro Pascal, so I got to take her to see it.
Yeah, I just don't need to see him anymore.
After that,
He's a terrific actor. He really is a good actor, but he's in too many. He's in too many things.
why do you think the elevator scene? Did you know when you were filming it was going to be a standout moment? Why do you think that stuck with people?
No, I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, it was fun, and we trained for it, and it was, me and Evans kind of beat on each other. It was great fun. It was 6 days. It took 6 days to shoot that elevator scene. 6 days.
Did your MMA background and training and
yeah,
love for that help you?
Yeah, I grew up in martial arts and fighting and boxing. And after this, I'm going to go box right now. And so, and I said to Evans, I go, I'm going to make you black and blue. And he's by the way, one of my favorite human beings on the planet. He is the most genuine guy, super talented. I can't say enough good things about Chris Evans.
You're working with Cena, who's a wrestler, and Peacemaker. There's a concept in wrestling called receipts, where if somebody tags you, they actually get you really hard, harder than maybe they were supposed to. You give them one back.
And that's inspiring.
Did that ever happen in the elevator?
It's the same thing. Of course it did.
You and Evans actually beat the shit out of each other.
By the way, I was also in the elevator with a bunch of big, strong,
sweating on each other,
but big, strong stunt guys who knew how to fight. So
that's got to be more fun than like anything else, though. Like doing those sequences, is that more fun than the dramatic character stuff? That's sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's more fun because you're an 8-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But what's more challenging for me, because the physical stuff is fairly comes natural. Like I went and did a movie called Lamborghini about Ferruccio Lamborghini, and what's more challenging to me is to kind of honor another human being that you're playing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but
it's like a different pressure with that.
It is, and because it's you have to kind of do the right thing by this amazing person that you're playing. So it's a challenge.
Well, it's funny you said Crossbones is the character, because when I do these, we sign this helmet. And then if there's a pop figure of the people I'm talking to, I get one for myself for my collection. And of course, the character that I was able to are there other pops?
Oh yeah, no, there's tons.
There's no Rick Flag pop yet.
Not yet, no.
But
I got to talk to Gunn about that.
But I did actually. Yeah, what are we doing? Where's Rick Flag Senior's pop? There's a junior pop.
Yeah.
So, but I actually also I brought you something. I went to the Funko store in Hollywood. And now there's a Frank Grillo 1 of 1 pop from the Pop Yourself.
Oh my God!
And so that's for you.
Oh my God! Can we see that? I mean, first of all, my kid's gonna freak out. My son. Oh man.
Yeah.
It's interesting because that's great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
My son, we lost a house in the Palisades fire. And the sad part of it all was nobody was there, so we lost everything in the house. And my son, who was 15 at the time, lost his comic book collection, which he had been diligently put together since he was about 11. Damn. And so we've gone on a tear since the fires. Now he's got an amazing, and there were so many generous people from Marvel and DC. My next door neighbor had a comic book collection. She gave him the whole thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, 40,000. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And so now he's like, I might open.
Is he flipping the pages on him?
Oh, dude, this kid, he's going to be something special. He's going to be another James Gunn. He knows he's an outlier, and all he does is read these things, and he's discovering new comics because people are giving him comics that he wouldn't normally have purchased,
And his dad is part of the Marvel
and now his dad, and he loves
DC.
He's become a DC fanatic.
So I was watching an interview with you where you're talking about that elevator scene, and you're talking about how the Russo brothers are so confident and comfortable in their storytelling. And now going from that experience with them to the DC universe with James, how do the two worlds collide for you? Is there some things that they do differently, some things they do
and they're both brilliant at what they do, right? They have both without those guys in this genre, I think it'd be a much different thing. The world of superhero and comic movies, right? The Russos, what they did with but they do have very different styles. First of all, you got two brothers directing, right? And so those two brothers kind of create one being. Yes, and they have very different styles, and they tend to be able to, or are more comfortable with, directing on scripts that are not totally complete.
Sure,
right, which is not uncommon.
That's how Marvel's done it from
the
beginning
too.
And
a lot of scripts, most scripts, as the movie starts to go, it wants what it wants, and you have to make adjustments, right? James. From Creature to Peacemaker and Superman, obviously, everything was done. All the scripts are done in advance.
Yeah.
And you don't really need to fudge with it at all. I mean, he's really got a clear concept, but he's the boss. So it's not like James has a committee that he needs to answer to, right? It's him and Peter Safran. Whereas the Russo brothers have a whole bunch of people that, have their hand in the cookie jar. So it's a whole different way of movie making. Now, they're both successful.
I would say
They're both, again, when we look back 50 years, we're going to look at this time and go, well, these guys created this genre.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're all amazing. They're all great at what they do. They just do it differently.
Yeah. What Marvel did, especially from like 2008 to 19, was unbelievable, and they're still going now. And it's interesting to see the criticism now, because it's not every movie's a guaranteed billion. If that's your criticism,
But here's the deal. I was just recently watching a great documentary on Netflix. I'm a big Dallas Cowboys fan, and they have a great documentary about Jerry Jones. It's called The Gambler and his football
you're a Cowboys
team,
fan,
right? And a Giant fan.
Oh
How
my
about that?
God, not a good time to tell you.
Because when I played Pee Wee football, I hate the Eagles. But listen. The Dallas Cowboys came from being the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
And then Jerry Jones bought them. And, he brought on Jimmy Johnson. And they became a dynasty.
America's
right?
team.
And then they got rid of Jimmy Johnson. They got Barry Switzer in there. And they had a couple of tough seasons and became a dynasty again. And guess what happened after that? They rolled out of that and became the worst team in the NFL. My point is, nothing is an ascension. Like nothing goes up and stays up. And so I think what Marvel's experienced now is huge growing pains.
Yeah.
And having to reel some things in and having to think about, okay, what's best for the next 10 years? And look, I'm just assuming that. But you can't be on top all the time.
And it's like nothing stays there forever. Like you could talk. I'm a Lost fan. I'm a Game of Thrones fan. I'm a Walking Dead fan. I'm a Marvel fan. All of these have had their moment.
Of course.
And then they kind of go like this, and it becomes, And right now, I love the energy around the DC universe.
It's amazing.
I love the energy.
And I use my 17-year-old as a bellwether. He has gone, and this kid was, when I tell you, his life was Marvel.
Yeah.
But this kid has gone deep now into DC. And it's just interesting to watch. I don't kind of interfere, but I'm just watching. He loved Creature Commandos.
It's so good.
He loved Superman.
So good.
And he's loving Peacemaker.
Also
and
so
they're
good.
all very different.
They're all very different, but they're all so damn good.
Yeah, they
and
really are.
I'm interested to see what DC does when it is not James directly at the helm of a project. Like when
he's got
Supergirl,
guys like Greg Gillespie.
I know.
I mean, he's got assassins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think James is his theory is there's no movie without a script.
Facts.
So it's kind of, for me, I kind of love that idea that the script is going to be as tight as it can possibly be before you start shooting.
Yeah.
And there's a confidence in that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So look, I think he's one of the smart, and getting to know him now, not just as a friend, but as the boss, I'm blown away by that.
I find it I feel like shocking might be a bold word, but like, dude, I've never seen a filmmaker who people go to bat for and show so much love for like James.
Yeah, you can't not love him.
Yeah.
And by the way, the Russo brothers are the same way. Like, you can't not love them. I love them. They're family guys. Their whole family works in their company. Their mother and father are beautiful human beings. And you go, okay, so the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Yeah. I mean, they come from...
It's a family affair at Agbo, too.
It's a family affair. Yeah. And they have cousins.
I love them.
They're amazing at what they do. And look what they've created with Agbo. I mean, and they're paying it forward. Like, they're constantly trying to find new filmmakers to support, to give money to let them make their movies. They're paying it forward. And that's, to me, that's the sign of a great human being.
When I left the site a little over a year ago, Agbo was the first people I met with to see if there was something to do, because that would be a dream to me. Yeah. I love that team.
Yeah.
Nothing yet, but
and,
I love that team.
Like, it's funny because, look, James was part of that team.
Yeah.
And Lars Winter, who's now our producer at DC, he was the first AD, which, by the way, was the best first AD in the business. Yeah. And Lars, made his bones at Marvel, and now he's kind of he's one of the producers, one of the big producers at DC. So it's kind of still very incestuous.
But that makes for a better work environment.
I agree.
People you like working with,
and it's healthy competition.
Yeah, that's true.
James loves them; they love James, and it's healthy, and that's what the movie business needs.
Not to keep making wrestling references, it's WWE getting better because AEW existed. You know what I mean?
Exactly right.
It's and then one elevates the other, and both win.
Yep.
The comic you talked about your son being a comics fan. The comics history of Flag Senior and Flag Junior is pretty funnily accurate to what we've gotten in the DC universe, because Flag Junior was introduced first, and 18 years later, Flag Senior is introduced in the comics, and that's the age gap between Flag Senior and Junior in the DC universe.
Exactly right.
I think it's cool how that happened. Have you met Joel Kinnaman yet? Has there been?
I know Joel. Yeah.
So have you guys talked about Senior and Junior? Has his work as Junior influenced you as Senior at all?
I watch it so that I can get an essence of him and have that as recall.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know that it's influenced me. I'd like to think that what I'm doing makes sense as to who Junior is.
Oh, it does, because these guys, the Flag Boys pull.
Right.
First of all,
right.
Why is there? Listen, man, there's a built-in riz about the Flag Boys. What's going on in the family there, bro? Oh my God. Hey, good for you guys. Between the princess and the enchantress, I mean, you guys have a type, I think.
We do have a type.
And it maybe
hot and crazy.
Yeah, there's a phrase: never stick your. Well, but hey, I think it's awesome too. But one of the big drivers of this season, I find it awesome that Peacemaker has kind of embraced events of the first Suicide Squad movie, calling back to June and Junior there, while adding the Harcourt relationship to Junior, which then puts Senior in a position where he's trying to get information out of Amelia. Yeah,
I have her in a perfect position.
I'm not going to make the joke.
Which is, I'm kind of counting on that relationship.
Yeah.
To win her over a bit.
Yeah.
And believing that she really loves him and I can get her and that she wants her career back in such a bad way that I can manipulate this situation.
I don't trust he's telling her the truth in this episode that she's been blackballed.
You don't. I don't know that she's been officially blackballed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna kind of, I think I really prey on how desperate and she is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she is desperate. I mean, she's falling apart.
Rick Flag immediately just starts trying to get information out of her and starts relying on her, and then manipulates her by the end of it, trying to say, "Bring me Peacemaker." I'm already seeing parallels between Flag and Waller in a sense.
Right.
He says he's not a showman, tries to differentiate himself from Waller, but at the same time, I'm starting to see like he'll say or do what he needs to get his personal way sometimes.
Not sometimes. I really think his position is secondary to his agenda personally. I really do. Mm-hmm. I really think I'm mired in revenge. Yeah. As a father of 3 sons, to think somebody would brutally murder my child and then they're out in the world, regardless of what and who they are, that would much be on my mind all day, every day.
Yeah, I have a question here, actually. I haven't really been looking at it, but you teed it up perfectly. As a father of boys, when Rick Flag Sr. gets the files of Junior's fate from the Suicide Squad, I noticed that the pages were fully filled out with the details of what happened and all of that. Does the personal experience of being a father make that scene more possible for you to deliver in the rage and the...
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, it's I think it's impossible when you're reading stuff like this not to put yourself in that position, right? It's even when we're reading the newspaper and we're reading about some travesty or some tragedy, we immediately go to the and the empathic parts of ourselves that go, wow, what if that was me? What if that was me? We read about these horrific school shootings, and my first thought is, I mean, that is so arbitrary. What if it was me? What if it was my kid? And that's what makes you enraged. And that's the first thing when I read it. That's the first thing that goes into my mind is, what if it was my kid? You know what I mean? So those feelings, where the mind goes, the body follows. Those feelings kind of then they encompass your DNA, and it's like that's all I can think about is this. Once I get rid of him, I can get on with my life. Yeah, that's kind of the idea.
That's good. Has there ever been like acting before and after becoming a dad? How much does that change you?
Oh, it changes.
Sounds like a lot.
Yeah, of course. Because first of all, it opens up pathways in your brain and your emotional being that you weren't aware of before becoming a father. I mean, you kind of tend to, fall by the wayside, and it's like, now I got them, and now I have a real responsibility and purpose on this planet, and is to make sure they stay alive, and they're good people. You know what I mean? That it was funny because I was getting on a plane recently that almost crashed, and I was TMZ was in.
Oh, I saw this.
Yeah, and he asked me what I want to be remembered for, and it's so funny because I feel invisible. I mean, we talk about Denzel and these amazing actors and movie stars, but I kind of feel invisible until somebody kind of walks up to me and says, "Oh, hey, Frank," and I'm like, "Oh, wow, somebody." And again, what do you want to be remembered for? And I said, I just want to, when I leave this planet, I want to know my children are okay and they're good people, right? And then I got on the plane and it had to make an emergency landing.
That was crazy.
But that's the idea of being a parent to me is that's my responsibility, right? Yeah. And my kids are just now getting to that, one's 27, one's 21, and one's 17. And the 17 is my last kind of, I got to make sure he's got another year in high school, and then he's going to go to college, and then I've kind of done my thing. Like, hopefully they're all good dudes, right? Yeah. And so that thing about being a father is 100% with me every day when I'm shooting Rick Flag.
Now that seems to be sort of an unspoken theme of the whole show. Yeah. Because Peacemaker season 1, his dad's such a dick.
That's right.
Now he's in this alternate dimension where his dad is loving, and you are dealing with the loss of a child. That's Rick Flag Sr., I think. Right. What James does to humanize even the morally gray characters, he's the best at it.
He does, and he's the first to admit, none of these characters are all good and none of them are all bad. I mean, Peacemaker is not great. Mm-hmm. He's questionable in his, moral turpitude. So, but we all believe that we're doing the right thing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And even when you're playing a bad guy, like when I did play in with Crossbones, like, I don't believe I'm the bad guy. I believe he's the bad guy.
And that's the best kind of villain, quote unquote, like antagonist. Like Rick Flag Sr. is the antagonist in a sense of this season, but he's not, because you understand him.
Right.
Is he a bad guy?
Think about what's driving him, and think about what happened to his son and how it happened to his son. And is he the bad guy, or is this guy all good? Is like if this guy wasn't around, would the world be a better place or a worse place? I don't know.
We live in a world where we all cheer for John Wick. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So if it's your dog, if it's your son,
anti-hero.
Yeah, if it's your dog, if it's your son, and if you can understand the motivation to go do something like that in a fictional world. Right. I imagine as I'm not a parent, I'm a dog dad, but I imagine as a parent, I'd be like, I'm gonna go destroy anybody who harms my child.
And look, the fans are, there's a lot of fans who go, oh, I hate Rick Flag Sr. You know why?
Who's saying that?
Well, because I'm the guy who's trying to get the guy.
Oh yeah, the guy who they love. Right, Peacemaker.
Right? And so in real life, they think you must be a bad person.
I think this episode might be the one, though. 4 might be the one where more people start feeling that.
I think so.
Because I like Harcourt a lot. People like Harcourt a lot. Jen is amazing in that role.
She is.
And forcing her hand to turn against her friend, that's a move that's going to piss people off.
Yep. You're exactly.
Which is good writing.
And then, and we can't talk about it, what happens after that, where it's kind of one-sided. Mm-hmm. When that happens, and it's like, oh, now they're really going to be like, this guy's no good.
I think that's gonna you're turning heel, as we'd say in the wrestling world.
He's not going anywhere.
Come on, we got.
He's not going anywhere.
I want peace. I want 10. Soul said she wants 10 seasons of Peacemaker. I was like, same. Please keep making this.
I
damn
know.
show.
I don't. I mean, everybody is like scattered doing different things. So I hope that my hope is to come back for a season 3 at least of Peacemaker.
I don't know how John has the time for any of this. Like, his schedule is absolutely insane. And
I know he has another career and another thing, which I think is coming to
He's
an
got
end.
10 more dates at the time of our recording.
Right.
3 more months, and then it's his last wrestling
He's
match.
done. It's interesting because, again, it got taken out of context when I said.
Wait, did you really not know who John Cena was?
No, of course I knew John Cena. And this is what the problem is lately, especially. And you know what? I have to be cognizant of people actually listening to what I'm saying. Right?
Well, they'll take the one thing, and they're not going to.
And it's clickbait.
I'm sure something out of this. Somebody's not going to watch the whole half hour we do here.
Nope.
Somebody's going to take the one quote. It'll go on Twitter.
Clickbait, right?
Yeah.
And so I knew of John Cena. I had seen John Cena in a movie which I thought he was really good in, which was called The Wall. I didn't know John Cena really who he was as a wrestler. Like I don't watch wrestling.
Like the character of John Cena in WWE.
Did. I wrestled, but I never watched wrestling, right?
Like cool, yeah.
So really, the way it really was meant was, and I had to ask my son Rio, my youngest, I go, is John Cena a big wrestler? He looked at me with wide eyes as if to say, you're the dumbest father anyone could ever have. Is he a big wrestler? You moron. He's the biggest wrestler.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where that came from. Of course, it was cut and dry. Frank Grillo had no idea who John, what do I live under a rock? I mean, it's ridiculous what people say, and so, and then people form an opinion about me based on these silly, like this clickbait stuff. And yes, I did know who John Cena was. Was I very familiar with John Cena? I was not.
I've got some names for you. There's guys like The Rock. You might want to look up.
I know The Rock.
Steve Austin.
Listen, he's a friend. I know The Rock. I've never seen The Rock wrestle.
Hey, man.
I've never seen The Rock wrestle. I know The Rock. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, congratulations on the Smashing Machine.
Oh,
It's getting rave reviews. But I
messing with
didn't.
you.
Yeah, I didn't know the magnitude of his celebrity. Now, he's also one of the greatest human beings I've ever met. I think he is by far the largest contributor to Make-A-Wish Foundation. He gives.
He is.
He is. He gives a lot of his time to helping these kids. And he means a lot to these kids. And we did a Comic-Con. We were at the same Comic-Con. And I had a break. And I went to see him. And the line for John Cena was around the arena. And he stayed. And he signed every autograph. And people adore him.
Yeah.
Like he is beloved.
And you can't even see him.
And let me tell you, never do I see him crack. It's not humility for the sake of humility. Like this guy truly walks the walk.
Yeah.
And there's a great saying that there's no success is never an accident. And there's a reason why he's John Cena. There is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this guy is amazing.
He actually started wrestling at the place I wrestle now, which is OVW. He was going by the Prototype at the time.
Where is that?
It's in Louisville. I have a match there tomorrow night.
Because my nephew is a wrestler. He goes by the name of Rosario Grillo. He's young. He actually just was with Paul Walker.
Yeah, dude, I have him and I are gonna have a match
Yeah.
sooner than later. But it's you on Tulsa King. You have Mike Walden on there, who's out of OVW as well.
He's great.
We were just on a show together a couple weeks ago.
By the way, he's a fan favorite too.
Dude, he's great. Yeah, he's a good guy. I like him.
He's
a lot.
awesome.
He's awesome.
They're all big, gentle giants.
Yeah.
Until they're not.
Yeah. I was there. I was on the set in Cleveland for Superman. The days that you were arresting Superman.
Oh yeah.
That I forget was it Superior Street,
Yeah.
which funny enough
By the way,
was.
we shot Captain America right there.
Oh yeah, because the
Same
Russos
street.
are locals too, right?
Same street.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
they're like the princes of
Yeah.
Cleveland.
There's a Superman statue in the Cleveland airport. They're gonna have to put a Russo brothers statue right next to it at some
they
point.
really are. I mean, yeah, we shot on that street. I arrested Captain America down the block.
That's crazy.
Isn't that
Wow,
crazy?
yeah.
Right down the block was
Yeah.
when I nabbed Captain America.
So Superman ends with Maury telling Rick Flag Sr., I'm glad you're not concerned with metahumans because they make the decisions now, I think is the quote.
Right.
Does that, in your opinion, impact Flag in a big way? Because he's being sarcastic.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think the jury is out with Flag and the metahumans. I really do. I think there's there's a high level of respect especially for Superman. But I think the jury is out with him. I think Flag needs to fully satisfy his need for revenge, and that might happen in Peacemaker before he can become who he's supposed to become in Argus. I really do. I think he's so clouded by this that it's hard. And I've seen people in real life like this, either with jealousy or feeling that they need revenge against somebody who they think wronged them down the way. And I think that's the position that Flag's in.
It's kind of a pivotal moment for the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and I think episode 5 is a turning point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big turning point for him. And then it's off to the races. You haven't seen the last 3 episodes, right?
No.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
James's favorite things he's ever done.
Yeah, and
6 and 8.
Yeah, there's a reason why he didn't show everybody the entire us either.
Yeah.
But it's pretty spectacular. Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap this up. I have a couple obligatory questions. What's the latest on Creature Commandos season 2?
From what I've heard, and this is just what I've heard, is that they're breaking stories and writing scripts. I loved that. I thought that was brilliant, man.
So good, dude.
I love being a part of that.
And then Waller is a project. Do you know if Rick Flag is going to be in Waller and if that's moving along?
I don't listen. I do know that Rick Flag is in another project that I'm not going to tell you about. And
have you filmed it already?
No.
Okay.
It'll be after I do. I'm about to go shoot a little movie in Ireland with Maria Bakalova.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
her and I are going to do
reunion.
a movie together. Yeah.
Nice.
And then I do Tulsa King season 4, the entire season. And then it's back to DC. I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Let's go, man. Hey, well, people are going to start theorizing now. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it fun, in my opinion. Frank, man, thank you so much for coming and hanging on the podcast, dude.
Yeah,
Loving what you're doing, Rick Flag Sr. Can't wait to see how this all wraps up.
Appreciate it, brother.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for more from the Morning After pod. Sean Gunn, Sol Rodriguez, Robert Patrick available now. Next week, it's Jen Holland.
Yeah.
See you there, guys. Thanks, Frank.